सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. Mahayogi Swami Umanand Saraswati ki jai. After discussing yesterday about science and spiritualism with reference to Kundalini Yoga, I received a few questions. One of the questions I'm going to deal with right now. And that question was, if suppose there is domestic violence in the house, can studies such as Kundalini Yoga help us to rectify it? It's a very right, correct question. Yes, if you are going to give time to study a yoga, how is it going to help you in your day-to-day life? Where there is going to be a conflicting situation or situation where there is going to be some sort of a violence inflicted upon anybody. Now, I would like to try and present it in two different ways and see whether it works. So, basically, yes. First is you have to treat this Kundalini not only as mere energy, but you can treat her as a goddess. Let's first start somewhere. We have to treat her as a goddess or the power of Lord Shiva, the benevolent power of Lord Shiva dwelling in us. Just like we have 5 elements in us: earth, water, air, space and fire. Similarly, we have the beneficial power of Lord Shiva, Kalyankari Shakti, that is in us. Obviously, if it is some sort of a power, it has got a few elements, factors which probably can be used by us. Now, these powers which are there in the Kundalini, they are actually, she has 5 powers: Kala, Kriya, Ved, Mantra, Jnana. But right now, we will only look upon the useful ones or the familiar ones with us. She has got this sense of knowledge, she has got this sense of action, and she has got this sense of will. So there is an action, there is knowledge, and there is will. These are the 3 forces which are embedded in her. Now, we will first treat her as the goddess. Let her use her powers. We are not going to try and tap those powers. We are not going to think of how to deal with it right now. The first approach is you let her deal with it. So, what you can do best is invoke her. And to invoke her, you can use the mantras which are given to you by Guru. So normally we have a few mantras which are given to us by our Guru, and they are there on video. As I told you, there is a Sri Guru Gita. It's comparatively a very long one. Yes, I understand. Then there is Rudra, another which is a very powerful mantra. Then third is Mantreshwari. We already have it in the videos. Then fourth is a short form which is Guru Om. Now these are used to invoke her. Then there's one more which I use every day, that is Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai. Mahayogi Swami Umanand Saraswati ki jai. Now these are some mantras which are short, instant. Now if you want to deal with a situation on a daily basis for a long now, next, say that these calamities should not take place again and again. So then you can have a daily prayer. We call it Swadhyaya. So it is important. Prayers take the upper hand in this approach. You need to pray. Now the prayers are very important. The mantras are already there on video, but Indian mythology provides you with umpteen number of mantras whichever god and deity you are very close to, you worship, you can take his mantra. Every god uh, has a mantra to be invoked by, and you can recite that mantra, and that god can definitely come to help you. Now, how can the help come? It can come in the help of another person who interferes. He might interfere in a critical situation. Suppose there is domestic violence happening, just a third person will come. Nowadays, there is a very good advertisement. If there is any violence that you are hearing, go and just ring the bell. So, some neighbor may just come and ring the bell, and just as if to say what's going on. Now, this can happen. Or it can happen that you will be able to say appropriate words which can prevent the situation. Or it can happen that you will have strength enough to stand against it. Whatever. So these are situations which can happen after invocation of the mantras. Now, what does the Kundalini Yoga actually, in day to day practice, what do we expect from her? We have 7 chakras. We are going to talk about only 7. There may be more, they are more. But right now, let's limit ourselves to these 7. Now, when you work on your daily basis on your Kundalini Yoga, you are going to have these 7 powers which are going to come to you very easily. Let us see what these powers are. The Sahasrara is going to give you knowledge. Now, when I say knowledge, obviously it is a knowledge which is going to be of help to you in your day-to-day requirement also. That is, you are wise, wizened brain. It's a wizened brain. So obviously it's going to help you in your day-to-day activity. It will definitely guide you. You will definitely have the capacity to think of how to deal with the situations as and when required. So this is going to promise you with knowledge. This is Sahasrara. It helps you to unite with the ultimate through knowledge. So when you can call, if your Sahasrara is powerful, your interaction with God is going to be very personal and powerful. Then there is the second is Ajna Chakra. What is Ajna Chakra going to provide you? Intuition. It's going to be a spontaneity. Spontaneous intuition can come to you and tell you how to avoid it. I will give you one example of it. A few days back, I had the fortune of carrying on my shoulder Sai Baba's palanquin. Of course, mine was one of the shoulders of the 6 to 8 people around. It was done because, let us say, I had the opportunity. I was invited as a speaker, and they asked me to join. It was definitely an honor for me. So, when of course we rested it on our shoulders, since I was shorter than the others. Not that I'm a short person, I'm about 5'4.5", but as compared to the men, I was short, and I was probably the only lady. So the others, the palanquin was raised a little on the other side, and the entire load came unknowingly on my shoulder. And in a place where only 50 could have been standing, they were not less than 500. India has its own charm. And of course, nor could I breathe, nor could I walk, nor could I raise the palanquin. And it was, anyway, the lesser I say, the better. It was a frightful experience. And of course, it was impossible for me to survive. And just I said, Sai Baba, help me or I shall die. And I got a beautiful intuition, just turn around. Just turn around. And I did that. I just left the shoulder and I turned. There were other 8 hands who were carrying the palanquin. So there was no question of any loss of balance. I just turned and I escaped the situation. Now, this was an intuition. This was an intuition. Before the intuition coming, I could have fainted. I could have fainted. But I just said, Sai Baba, please. Exactly like that, you need to invoke the goddess. Trust me, the power comes like a lightning. Like a lightning, it can come. It can come as a physical strength, it can come as an intellectual strength, it can come as an emotional strength, because she is the goddess of Lord. She is the beneficial power of the world. And through her, Lord Shiva is running the world. Now, this is Ajna Chakra. The third is, of course, Vishuddha Chakra. It has the power of exchange of knowledge. You can speak, voice it. So here comes the power of speech. Then you obviously have, but the other chakras right now, these two were what were important, so I talked about it. Now there was another question which was asked. Now, just as we are looking at the head as Sahasrara, this needs to be referred to yesterday's video. Just as we are looking upon the head as a Sahasrara, can we look upon Jagadishwar and Jag as one? This was an intuitive question which came to my mind. Yes, I think that's exactly what Indian mythology is teaching. That Jagadishwar, Jeev and Jagat are one. Just as the head and the Sahasrara are one. They are one. Just as the Ajna Chakra and the forehead are one. Just as the throat and the Vishuddha Chakra are one. Similarly, the Jagat, the world, probably the universe, and the universal creator, the creator of the universe, probably are one. We are just going to assume it. We are going to assume it. Therefore, Indian mythology goes ahead and says, revere each one as an individual God. So, is there something beyond the world to look up to and see that there is a God? I don't know. I'm just one like you, one of you. Yes, I've interacted with my, for me, my God is my Guru, Umanand Saraswati. You can see her portrait behind me. She is my God. Now, when you describe her as the origin, she is the origin of whatever I have gained from in this world. I mean, she is the origin of, let's say, my knowledge, my peace, my bliss, my support, all that. So, something like that, which is obvious to the eyes, has got also the capacity, just as the head has the capacity to occupy Lord Shiva in Sahasrara. The navel, the belly button in a human being is supposed to be a place where Kundalini is coiled and is resting. Now you have the capacity, that body has the capacity to withhold the beneficial power of the world in her nabhi, in her navel, belly button. How is it possible? Either the body is superhuman or it is designed perfectly by some creator. Yes, somebody must have made this skull, I don't deny it. But it is so designed that it can be a seat of consciousness, which is supposed to be Lord Shiva. Similarly, we probably will be able to logically come to a conclusion that Jagadishwar and Jagat, Lord Himself is active world, and probably the passive world is Jagadishwar. Of course, we are all here to discuss, so feel free to talk. Send me. This is just as the subject goes, we may be driven to various concepts, and we are not here to argue, we are here to understand. Yes, I think it's a nice topic. It's some definitely, just as the statue in the temple is looked upon as God, and then the entire understanding, actions, emotionalism, intellectual arguments, all these they change. Similarly, probably if you look upon this entire universe that you see physically as His very form or God Himself, maybe our understanding will undergo a change. If it goes for something positive, nothing like it. I'm Swami Radhikanand from Pune. Keep in touch. Thank you.